I'm really not paying attention to it. I'm eating jelly beans. Skittles jelly beans, by the way. No endorsement, but if y'all out there and y'all want to send something, I ain't mad at you. So what's going on, people? Cody K first out the limo. Jason Sink is right behind him. I appreciate you guys as usual. And yeah, got the men's score on. I don't even have the game feed on. I'm just watching the score. So I was so filled up from last night with Dawn Staley winning it, the Philly girl doing her thing, and this whole narrative that's been created. Let me get some light on my right side, on my left side. There we go. This whole narrative that's been created with Caitlin Clark, is very, very interesting. Cody K, we gonna get into that, bro. I got that on my list. So sit tight. Definitely got that on my list, man. I don't know where that stuff is coming from. I don't really understand the landscape right now because it's just like some of these guys, they doing too much. They really doing too much, man. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute, man. But shoot, it's the game last night, South Carolina. That was the perfect game. 14.2 million viewers. We went over that this afternoon. And I've looked at some other stuff that's come out with all this whole narrative with Caitlin Clark. Is she going to be good enough at the next level? What's going on with her? It's weird, man. It's weird. But when you look at it, it's not that different than what we do come draft time. We're going through it right now as Eagles fans. Who are the Eagles going to pick? Why do they want that guy as opposed to somebody else? Howie doesn't know what he's doing. He's used to drafting these type of guys, and he hasn't drafted this person in years. So, what's up, Jabril? You got stuff like that going on. Same with football, same with basketball, same with baseball. And this is the same thing. You know what I mean? But it's an interesting phenomenon because of where it sits. I'm very interested, for obvious reasons, with me being in the YouTube space. I am very interested to see how this manifests with the Caitlin Clark effect and what she's going to do for the league, and everybody talking about she's not going to make it, all of that kind of stuff. I saw this quote today from Diana Taurasi, who's a great player in her own right, saying that you look superhuman playing against some 18-year-olds, but you're going to come play with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Here's the thing with this statement in particular. Here's the thing. She's not wrong. Okay? I didn't want that. There we go. She's not wrong with what she's saying. So I can't really get mad at her for that. But Jason, I am with you a little bit too. It does kind of look like she throwing shade. To me, that's Captain Obvious. I went back and looked because I was hearing a lot of noise about Candace Parker has been the only rookie to really come in the league and dominate, but Candace Parker only, and I got to separate between what I think somebody should be doing because of what I'm used to in the NBA. But Candace Parker, her rookie year, let me see if I can look that up. I looked it up earlier and forgot. I forgot to write it down. Candace Parker stats. Let me see. WNBA, Candace Parker career stats. So yeah, she was she came out in 2008 and she was rookie of the year. She averaged 18.5 points a game. That's pretty good. And for that league, apparently it was the best rookie had done. So can I see Caitlin Clark doing that? Quite honestly, I don't think they're gonna let her get all of them shots off to do it. Could she do it? Absolutely. Will she do it? I don't think she's gonna get the opportunity. I don't think she's gonna get the opportunity because they're gonna be ball hogs. Unless, and here's the thing, and here's the crux of this conversation, right? Hold on, I'm reading. Vaughn said she did an interview with Jalen last night. Oh, I saw that. Diana Taurasi, yeah. No, but she gave another quote. She said basically the same thing on another show. And it was a little bit more flippant. Like, she made sure to not name names. And she used the word grace, saying that some players are going to need a little grace, basically saying the transition that they're going to need to make into the WNBA. And in my opinion, I think that's more true with somebody like Angel Reese, as opposed to a shooter like Caitlin Clark. Because if they want to showcase Caitlin Clark, all they got to do is find a way to get her open. And any good coach can do that, especially a coach at the pro level. So if they want to showcase Caitlin Clark, they can do that. Now, Diana Taurasi did make a very good point. She is going to have to play better defense. She is. But, and here's the thing where we always go back and forth, or at least I do. Because the comparison is, how can the women's game be as entertaining as the men's game? That's the thing they're trying to figure out. What can they do to put butts in seats? And I would argue the game is fine. They don't need to lower the rim so the women can dunk. Just wait till Ashlyn Watkins comes to the league. She'll be dunking. They don't need to do that. And the women's Final Four proved that. All of those games were breaking records, breaking viewership records. And the viewership at the college level is way better than what's in the WNBA. And they're not stupid. So what they need is marketable stars. And that's what they have, because Diana Taurasi, Breanna Stewart, who some think, and rightfully so, that Breanna Stewart is the best female college player to ever play. She got 4 national championships and all the same accolades. She just don't have the scoring records. So that's a good argument in my book. When you get 4 chips, you got to have a chip to say you was the best. Caitlin Clark was one of the best. I would put her in that GOAT status in college, on that Mount Rushmore of collegiate players. I would say she's that good, but to say she's the best, she's one of the best, but she couldn't get over that hump. She's the Buffalo Bills of women's college basketball. Buffalo Bills is one of the best teams in that era and got to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row. Do you know how hard that is? And they lost every time. Yep. Vaughn, you're 100% right. Men don't dunk anymore. Dunking is for the dunk contest at the All-Star game. I've seen guys pass up dunks, kick it out to the corner so their teammate can hit a 3. You are absolutely right, Vaughn. You are absolutely right. But the thing that I'm looking at, and the thing that's funny, is all of these kind of backhanded comments that they give in Caitlin Clark. Yes, she's one of the greatest, but is she going to have that success when she gets to the league? She's playing with grown women. And I'm like, listen, them grown women dribble the same way and shoot jumpers the same way. And that rim is still 10 feet tall. And it is my opinion that Caitlin Clark is somebody that can get over that hurdle quicker than anybody else. But they got to give her the opportunity. And that's where to me, that's where the interesting part is because I'm looking directly at the WNBA and looking at the commissioner and owner, because now, Jason, you'll remember I mentioned this afternoon. Now they got the Tiger Woods effect coming. Now they got somebody coming into their league that's going to be the first pick in the draft that is going to put butts in seats. Period. They have got a golden goose sitting right on their front porch. They ain't got to hunt for it. They ain't got to find it. It's already there. What are they going to do with it? If they play their cards right, everybody's going to eat off of Caitlin Clark. You already know the and I didn't know this because I didn't follow the WNBA last year, but I know I'm going to follow it this year. I don't know what the WNBA, what their financials look like. I know they're losing money because they get money from the NBA. The NBA is subsidizing the league, and they're trying to get out from under that. Rightfully so. They want to, make money on their own merit. And here's the thing where I think a lot of the older players or the existing players are getting a little salty is because you got all of these players, maybe the last no, I think this will be the first. This will be the first draft, and correct me if I'm wrong. Won't this be the first draft with NIL players? This will be the first draft with NIL players coming into the league. So essentially, in my opinion, where a lot of the jealousy is that these girls are coming in already making money. Anybody that gets drafted this year, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, you name it. Whoever gets drafted is coming in the league taking a pay cut. So Cameron Brink from Stanford, Rakia Jackson, Camila Cardoso, Aaliyah Edwards from UConn, the big 6'3" center, obviously Angel Reese. Angel Reese is already making like $1.8 million from NIL deals, and most of those deals are going to follow them. If you got an NIL deal in college, the people that's paying you that money ain't just going to stop it because you're still a marketable person. And for me, that's where the NBA has failed. Because now what you have is you got all of these players, Caitlin Clark, all of them, and they've got a very healthy social media push behind them. I used the example earlier. You look at the UFL, and I follow the UFL because I'm a veteran of the World League. So I'm a veteran of those minor league teams and what you got to do to get to the next level. But social media didn't exist when I was over in Europe. You had to email the facts, who won the game and all of that kind of stuff. But now look at the UFL, that dude for the Brahmas. They got that kid destroying, who was a kicker. And he would have been a kicker in college, but the college, in the NCAA, just like they did Jeremy Bloom way back in the early 90s, they made destroying. They told him if he's making money from YouTube, you can't be on a college football team, which is stupid. So you know what he did? He was doing the YouTube, and his YouTube was blowing up. Now he's got 5 million followers on YouTube, 5 million subscribers. And all of those subscribers are watching him play, watching the Brahmas play. Brilliant move. That's checkmate by The Rock. Signing that kid, and it just falls in their lap because the kid is a legit kicker. He's not a gimmick. He's legit. So he got all of that following from social media. If let's say you got 5.1 million subscribers and you can bring 5% of that to watch the broadcast, that's a win. Any way you slice it, that's a win for The Rock and a win for the UFL, and it's definitely a win for destroying. Because his brand is only going to go up, and The Rock's going to ride his coattails and make whatever money he can off of it. The WNBA is in that situation right now. It's coming with this draft class. Everybody in this draft class has a very healthy social media following. The biggest ones are going to be Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. If you had Diana Taurasi, if you had Brianna Stewart, if you had who else? Kelsey Plum. You could throw somebody else in there. If you put them in a room for a fan meet and greet, and Caitlin Clark walked in the door, guess where everybody would go? If you had the WNBA players and Caitlin Clark sitting at two separate tables, the line for the autographs would be at Caitlin Clark's table, without question. And can't none of them deny it. And that's why some of them are, acting all shady about it, throwing little backhanded comments to her. She's a great player, but here come that but, come that backhand. Yo, Jabril, let me tell you why Ice Cube is a G. He's a genius. Ice Cube knew she wasn't going to take that deal. He know that. But you know what? Now the news got out that he offered. Then the girl, whoever that girl is from the WNBA, got mad at Ice Cube, like, why don't you put that money somewhere else in our league, and got kind of jealous about it. So now the Big Three League is getting all of this attention. All of this attention from him simply making the offer. He knew good and damn well she wasn't going to join it. But he put it out there, and he receiving all the traffic, all the news headlines. And it's just it's got that whole conversation has got his own legs now. And all he doing is sitting back and getting all the traffic and getting all the notoriety because of it. Smart move by him. Very smart move by him. He wins. It's a win-win for him. If she says no, it's a win because everybody knows he offered. And the problem for the WNBA is that girl crying, how come you couldn't offer it to somebody else or do something else with that money? Whatever her issue was, at the end of the day, if there had been somebody else that was worthy of that money, he would have offered it. But I would argue, in this era of the social media, there has never been an athlete like Caitlin Clark. Never. As good as Diana Taurasi is, as good as Sue Bird is, as good as Brittany Griner is, everybody, nobody until this year, no one has had the visibility level of Caitlin Clark. Maybe you can argue Angel Reese. But I say you can argue because Angel Reese ain't dedicated to the sport like Caitlin Clark is. That's why she got in so much trouble and was off the team for the first couple games and Don't forget about all of that nonsense that happened at the beginning of the year. It's because she was making money on social media, traveling and all of that kind of stuff. What's going on, JT? Another one of my guys from the Apple store. Back in the days at the fruit stand, bro. But nope, none of the girls, when Cheryl Swoops came out, when Dawn Staley came out, maybe Dawn Staley's group. And I say that because I remember, I just watched it the other day. Go on YouTube and check it out. It's still funny to this day. When Dawn Staley and that Olympic team that year was on Martin. Martin Lawrence was talking smack, and they did a 5-on-5 or a 3-on-3, whatever it was. And Dawn Staley was talking smack to him. That was a great episode of Martin. And Martin was the hottest show on television at that particular time. So they've had flashes of that type of success. But that was the landscape. Yeah, that was the landscape. That episode and the episode when Martin fought Tommy Hearns. Funniest episodes right there. Funniest that Tommy Hearns episode was off the chain when his face was all jacked up at the end. But that was when the Olympic team was at its height as far as visibility. So now you fast forward now, and it's at a whole nother level. Because now you get, if Angel Reese has 1 million followers on her TikTok channel, again, give me 5% of that viewership. Give me 5% of those eyeballs watching her play ball. And it's probably going to be more than that. Whatever Caitlin Clark's social media looks like, let's get 5% of all of those followers or subscribers or whatever she got going on. Let's get 5% of that to the game. But you already know it's going to be way more than that. They already selling out tickets. And she ain't even been drafted yet. So that should let you know that the visibility is there. The WNBA has never had an athlete at this level of visibility. And I'll go back to what I was saying this afternoon. I'm the guy that they're looking for, right? I'm the guy that we're looking for. If you didn't watch WNBA, if you've never watched WNBA like me, I've watched it here and there. I've watched highlights, but I've never said, you know what channel this is on? Let me set my DVR to record because I'm going to watch this game. If you've never done that, then the WNBA is looking for people like us. Because they've already had their abysmal viewership and fan base and, people attendance issues at the game. They've already had that. So now they need people like us who didn't give two shits about it the last couple of years. And now we got somebody that I'm going to make sure I set the alarm to set it to record on my DVR so I can watch her play. Maybe I will buy my granddaughter a jersey for the Las Vegas Aces or the Indiana Fever or something like that. So maybe I will spend some money on merch. So I will help the overall revenue go up. But today, I wish I could show it to you. I'm working on a video that I'm gonna put out hopefully before the weekend. JT, dude, the national championship game will be on again. Rest assured, because that was phenomenal. But I'm gonna be spending money, and that didn't exist before. So they got a golden goose, man. The WNBA has a golden goose, and they better take care of it. It's sitting on their porch right now. And I saw an article. That's what I was saying. I saw an article. Hold on for a second. What's her name? Her name is, I'm going to bring y'all in on this one. Copy. All right, we're going to close that. Hold on. Hope this don't play nothing crazy besides the ads. All right, I'm going to let this ad roll, and when it get done, I'm going to come back to it. But I found the article. This was on CNBC television. It is the commissioner of the WNBA. And I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, finally, somebody is talking like real world dollars and cents. So her name is Kathy Engelbert. She is the WNBA commissioner. And she was a CEO at some Fortune 500 company or whatever. But she was talking about her excitement of Caitlin Clark coming into the league and what that's going to mean. And she had a legit plan. Like, she knew, like, it's going to put butts in seats, and then we can do this. And because of that, we'll have more money to do this. And because of that more money, she's got a plan laid out. And this is the first time I've heard somebody talk about that. And it's a shame because it's on CNBC and it only has 3,700 views. When I saw it, it hadn't even had 600 views yet. But this is the stuff that people need to see, because for all of that bitching and moaning that the players are doing about being equal to the guys and making more money and stuff like that. I got to find out what that one girl's name was that was on Gilbert Arenas' show on his podcast. And she just sounded bitter. But she couldn't offer any real world solutions. She was talking about what it looked like and what everybody thought the game looked like, but she didn't have no dollars and cents ideas or solutions to help the problem. And the guy tried to tell her the bottom line is you need people that are marketable. You got to have somebody on your team that I want to go see. Yes, you saw it. You know what I'm talking about. What was the big guy that was asking the questions? It was like he even had to ask the questions in kind of like let me slow this down because I don't want to offend you. But what is the solution? He was like really talking down to her like she was 5 years old. But I understand why he was doing that, because he didn't want to come across like real ignorant. Is that his name, Lexi Brown? I really don't. I've seen 2 episodes. I saw the episode with that girl on it, and then the episode with Cheryl Swoops. That's it. So if that's his name, that's him. He was the big dude sitting opposite of her. So it may have been JT. I don't know. But she didn't have no answers. She didn't have any legitimate answers. All she said was, we got to do things to get more marketing in and get more promotion and this. Yeah, duh, Captain Obvious. But how do you do that? And what she didn't want to admit, because she must have said that our game is good and we know how to play and it's good basketball. That don't mean that people want to watch it. Because I said it this afternoon, everybody sees that same little 30-second clip or whatever of these two teams just missing layup after layup and shot after shot. That's not good basketball. That's not what I want to see. Caitlin Clark is what I want to see. The girl that was in the 3-point contest with Steph, I want to see more of her. And I want to see her do that in the game. And now they're at a situation where that can actually happen if they play their cards right, which leads me into the next thing. The WNBA as a league are going to have to play the game. They're going to have to play the politics and all of that kind of stuff. They are going to have to play the game. They are going to have to, whether she deserves it or not, and I think she's going to earn it, but they got to give her a push. they got to put Caitlin Clark in the forefront because she's the one that's going to be bringing in seats, putting butts in seats. She's the one that's going to increase the revenue. Diana Taurasi, she done been in the league for umpteen years. We over her. Her time is done. Kelsey Plum just got there. That's a good rivalry. She's still young. We know her name. We've seen her. So the Diana Taurasi and Candace Parker, and now they're the veterans of the league that's been in the league for umpteen years. And, great. But they are the old guard, and they still trying to hold on to be a part of this huge success that it's about to be. Because now, who are we looking at now? And I mentioned this before. JT, you wasn't with us this afternoon. I think Jabril was here. Jason Sink was here. But Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, Tessa Johnson, Malaysia Full Wiley, Lauren Butts, Paige Beckers. I'm naming off these girls in college. Hannah Hidalgo, Hannah Stolke. I'm naming off these girls from college because I watched the games. Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum. And I'd be hard pressed. What's the girl I mentioned that broke the records? Brianna Stewart. I really, it's hard for me to think of the super popular players in the WNBA off the top of my head. But I can rattle off the college girls, and they're the ones that are up and coming. So those are the girls that I have invested in. They would be smart to take her, but the bottom line is, does she want to go? I think she is going to go. Matter of fact, let me look that up. Because that's what, remember when Camila Cardoso missed those games in the regular season with South Carolina, that's where she was. She flew back to Brazil so she could play with her Olympic team. Because I think, Dawn Staley's coaching that team. I don't think she's made a decision yet. I don't think she's made a decision. Olympics. Clark is playing for it. She was invited, obviously, but she was unable to participate because she was still competing in the NCAA tournament. Right. So she was invited, but she couldn't go because she was in the tournament. So I'm guessing she probably would have gone. So I'm gonna guess that she will go. It'd be kind of crazy for her not to. Plus, I want to see her go. I want to see her play in the Olympics. I want to see her get that international exposure. So what's up, Dave? Is Gino still the women's? Yeah, Gino already. I think I don't know. Let me see. I don't know if it's Dawn Staley, because she was on Good Morning America and she mentioned she didn't have a lot of time because she had to get back to South Carolina and then get ready for Paris. So I don't know if she is the coach or is she one of the coaches. Let me see. Women's Olympic basketball. $2024. Yeah, Ariel Atkins, Aaliyah Boston, Ephesian Collier, Kalia Cooper, Ryan Howard, Sabrina Lanescu. Sabrina Lanescu, that's the girl that was in the 3-point contest. Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Jackie Young. So like Diana Taurasi, they got some veterans on there. So that would be a real good testing ground to see what Caitlin Clark is going to do. Google says Cheryl Reese, women 2024 roster. Let me see. Yeah, they yeah, Cheryl Reeves. It says she'll be assisted by Mike Thibault, Kurt Miller, and I know for a fact that Dawn Staley said she was getting ready to go to Paris. So maybe it's an evolving list. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm going to watch. Absolutely, Jason. More eyes. More worldwide coverage. Can't hurt. Because, like I said, Taurasi and them girls have been playing now. They're the vets. Like Candace Parker. I'm looking at Candace Parker stats. She played for Las Vegas. Las Vegas was the first WNBA team to sell out their season tickets. But she played for Las Vegas last year. Candace Parker got drafted in the WNBA in 2008. So you're talking about 2008, 2018. So she'd have been there 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She's going in her 15th, 16th year. Angel Sexy Red. Vaughn, you wrong, dog. Damn. Dog, you 100% wrong. Oh, man, you 14 karat crazy, bro. That is wrong on. All the way wrong. Funny, but wrong, dog. That's just. You said Taurasi is Madonna. She wish she looked that good. That's a shame, dog. That's funny, dude. Oh my God. But you ain't wrong though. You ain't wrong. But that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, Candace Parker, she been around for a minute. So they trying to get this last piece of success with the league. And I get that. I get it. So let me see. I want to see Diana Taurasi's career stats. Diana Taurasi came out in 2007. Damn. So now she talking about 7. Diana Taurasi been playing for 21. Nah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This will be Diana Taurasi's 17th year in the WNBA. It's time for a new guard, dude. What's up, old head? Appreciate you, KC. Yeah, 17 years, man. So you're talking about 15, 16, 17-year vets. It's time for the old guard to go. Look at me showing my age because 2007, I was 27. Hold on. Man, I was 20. Oh, I was 37. My bad. I'm old. but that's the old guard, man. Did none of them girls, Tarasi, Candace Parker, Rebecca Lobo, did none of them girls have an Instagram account or a YouTube following or a TikTok following? It wasn't like that. And it's certainly, even if they did, hell, they came in the MySpace era. But even back then, the social media environment was totally different. It was totally different, man. I appreciate that, Jabril, man. I will be 54 in July. But yeah, man, the old guard is time. It's time to go. It's time for they got to hand off the baton. And thank you for your contribution. But you got new and up and coming that is going to really bring legitimate money to the league. And if you look at it, and this is something that the commissioner said in that article, it's the same. The NBA was going through the same thing. Hotmail, AOL.com. The NBA was going through the same thing before Magic and Bird. NBA was going through the same problems. Viewership was down. Now, mind you, it was a different era, so the fight for eyeballs on your product was a lot more fierce, and there were a lot less avenues you could go to. And then Magic and Bird happened, Indiana State versus Michigan State in the NCAA finals, and that rivalry went to the pros, Lakers in Boston. And then that did it. And then a couple more years later, that was in 78 or 79, I believe. And then 5-6 years later, here comes Michael Jordan from UNC. And Michael Jordan changed the game because Michael Jordan and ESPN came out right at the same time. They happened at the same time. And they fed off of each other. Sports Center every morning before you went to school, For me, it was before we went to class. And that's when you start hearing all of the euphemisms and all of that kind of stuff. Thank you, Jason. 1979, Michigan State, Indiana State, when Magic became Magic. And when Jordan came out, that was the beginning of the highlights. They always showed highlights, but it was a different thing when they showed Jordan's dunks. Then they had music and graphics and sound effects and all of that kind of stuff, man. Oh, thank you, Vaughn. That's something that was various alumni days at the vet that they have an alumni day in preseason every year. So it's always fun to go down there and hook up with the fellas again, man. So appreciate that. That's me right there. If you notice, I'm wearing 42, but my jersey right here is 46. That's because this picture was taken in the preseason. And then when I made the squad, when I made the roster, my number got switched to 46. So there you have it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Big John Runyon. B-Dawk right behind me, if you can see it. That's me and Trot at the parade. Me and Jeffrey Lurie, Irvin Fryer, the Thomas brothers, Hollis Thomas, Marcus Thomas, William Thomas. No relation. So, yeah, man, appreciate that. So, but I lost my train of thought. But the WNBA has a unique opportunity, just like they did back in the day. Now, I want to see, let me bring this up again. Angel Reese is projected to go to the Washington Mystics. Now, the question is going to be, do the Washington Mystics play the Indiana Fever? That's what I want to know, because that's the rivalry. That's the Magic and Bird. So I wonder if they don't play each other, they gotta get games together. They have to, because now you already know you got what you wanted. You got Caitlin Clark, you got Angel Reese, you got Camila Cardoso, you got Cameron Brink, Paige Beckers is coming next year, Aaliyah Edwards is here. You got all of these players right now. So now you're going to get their following, and you know there is already a Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rivalry. They already said they don't hate each other. They just rivals. You got to build off of that. So, yeah, Jason, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. Number 10 would be Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun. So somebody has got to ensure that there is a Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese rivalry. That's just good business. So, and on top of that, man, all of the not just the shade they're throwing at Caitlin Clark that makes everybody sound bitter and jealous, but I didn't know the level of abuse and bullying and all the stuff that they got to go through with the gay players and the straight players. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought Jason Whitlock was making that stuff up. That's a real issue. That's a real issue. Let me see. What is that girl's name? Let me see. Let me get back. Okay, yeah. Let me what is that girl's name? I was trying to do a story on him. It wasn't Cynthia Cooper. Nope. There's been a lot of WNBA players accused of domestic violence. Quitting because of mental health, all of that kind of stuff. But I'm specifically looking for, it was a girl. It's a relatively recent story where the girl quit after she had her baby. Is that Candace Wiggins? I think you are correct. Yes, you are right. Thank you. Yep. She played ball 7 years. Yep. She was bullied in the NBA for being straight. And then when she came out with that, this is an article that came out, I believe, in June of 2023, last year. So when she came out with that, people were like, well, you could have came and talked to somebody. And I'm like, if it was that easy for her to do, she would have done it. And that's her truth to speak. It ain't for y'all to say, well, maybe it wasn't like that. That's her truth. And apparently y'all wasn't worried about it before she said something. So, but I'm saying all that to say, for that to be a legitimate problem is crazy. And of course, now you throw the racism in it, and now you talk another ism, sexism, because now is Caitlin Clark gonna get bullied because she's straight with a boyfriend? She a straight white Catholic girl with a boyfriend? How's that gonna look? Because now you can't bully her. And that's what I mean by the NBA has got to play the game, because the money is on the line. And they can't be about no bullshit. The money is on the line. So any of these knuckleheaded girls want to bully the rookies and do some of this nonsense that Candace Wiggins is talking about and others have, you messing with the money. You can't do that. And it's too much money on the line, because now what the commissioner says, there's deals in place that are looking forward to the revenue that Caitlin Clark is bringing to the game. And that's going to start a domino effect of all of this stuff that's going to start happening. All of it. Now, you talking about Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner transition. I think she had surgery and removed her breasts and stuff. Because I think I've seen pictures of her without a shirt on. So that she did that on purpose. So yeah. So she got Brittany Griner, she had came out at Baylor. That's why that was a big story that that's why her and Kim Mulkey never got along. Because when she was at Baylor, they wanted her to keep her sexuality under the table. They didn't want her to come out as gay. But yeah, I think I think it's clear she sounds like she was taking testosterone or something like that. So, oh damn, JT, really? Oh Lord, it's JT. Still too early, bro. Still way too early, man. Holler at me when we get to 25 games. Holler at me then. Be all right. So yeah, when she came back, she cut all her hair off. So now she got that short, kind of like dirty fro. But Kim Mulkey was catching a lot of flack because she wouldn't even comment on Brittany Griner. And I was like, hold on, this girl helped you win 2 national championships? And just because you don't like her lifestyle, you just gonna cut her off? You ain't got nothing to say? A lot of people didn't like that. And when you're talking about Kim Mulkey, very curious, Van Lith goes back in the portal. So she's out at LSU. So take that for what it's worth. I'm sure we'll hear more about that as she decides where she's going next. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with Kateri Poole. Kateri Poole was ranked in the top 10 in the country when she came out of high school. And she was the number 1 player in Maryland, I think it was. And she played good minutes for LSU. And then she bounced. So whatever it is Kim Mulkey is doing, everybody ain't good with it. So we'll see. So yeah, man, it's funny. I am invested in the girls' game now, but only for these athletes that I've been following. The only other person, I said this earlier today at lunch, the only other person in the WNBA I've been following is Kelsey Mitchell. And that's a personal thing because she went to my high school. I knew her father. I say I knew her father because her father just passed away. I played football with her father. We were teammates at Eastern Kentucky. So she's a twin. I'm a twin. That's that whole thing. But mainly I followed Kelsey Mitchell when she got drafted. I was like, that's a homegirl support. Other than that, I didn't even know who Kelsey Plum was. I didn't know Kelsey Plum was the girl that married Waller. They used to play for was it the Giants or the Jets? But she married an NFL player. But there's a video, it's a meme now, where she's throwing t-shirts in the stands at a Lakers game. And I've seen that little video clip everywhere. I had no idea that was Kelsey Plum. None. And then I saw her on Kevin Hart's show where they sit in the cold tub. And then I started making a connection when Caitlin Clark was getting closer to her record. I was like, oh, Kelsey Mitchell was number 3. Brittany, it was Kelsey Plum, Brittany Griner, I think, and then Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell was number 3. Then I started paying attention. I was like, oh, I see her all the time. I didn't even know. So just from that standpoint alone, the notoriety, that Caitlin Clark is bringing to the game. Dawn Staley said it perfectly. Caitlin Clark is bringing more eyes and lifting up the women's game, period. And some of these old guard don't like it. And the WNBA has to play the game. The game. The WNBA has to play the game where owners got to step in and say, hey, we ain't going to have no nonsense with this person because she's bringing in too much money. Just like when when I was in practice with the Eagles, I was a running back, but you wasn't trying to come in and practice if you was on defense. You wasn't putting hands on Randall Cunningham. You wasn't going to take Randall to the ground because he's responsible for you winning games. If you win games, you get to the playoffs. If you get to the playoffs, you get them playoff checks. You can't mess with the money. Same thing in the WNBA. Same thing in the NBA. You make it to the playoffs, you get them playoff checks. The playoff checks are always bigger because the playoff, you get paid, your contract is for the regular season. Once the regular season is over, everything else is a bonus. So when you get playoff checks and you make it to the playoffs, you ain't got to pay all the other teams. So the amount of visibility you have is bigger because it's the playoffs. But the amount of teams you got to pay it to is smaller. So your playoff checks are usually a lot bigger. Yeah, Dave, RC was my dude, man. Fun story. My first day out of practice at Westchester. I'm nervous as hell. I'm a rookie. I'm getting out that early so I can get there and warm up. And who am I standing by? Randall Cunningham. And the first thing he says to me is, what's going on, Rook? Warm up with me for a little bit. So I backed up about 15 yards, just tossing. He throws me the ball. And mind you, it's 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. So the grass is wet with the dew. So my hands are wet. So I go up to catch the ball. The ball slips right through my hands and busts me dead in the bridge of my nose. I'm lucky it didn't break my nose. And Randall was cracking up. So that's my embarrassing rookie story with Randall Cunningham. But you make it to the playoffs, you get the playoff checks. And if you are a starter in the playoffs, once again, more visibility, more eyes on less people. Now you start getting, hey, I saw you hit, you scored 27 in game 3. How about an endorsement deal? More eyes on less people. So now you have the opportunity to make money on the side because of what you do in the playoffs. Playoffs matter, even in business. Even in business. So again, everybody can eat off of Caitlin Clark because wherever she goes, if Indiana makes it to the playoffs, whoever they play, revenue is going to be through the roof. The games are going to be packed. Watch the attendance because that's the one thing I'm watching. Everywhere Caitlin Clark goes, I want to see the attendance levels and compare them to the previous year. And you will see how much of a difference she's going to make. The only way they can screw up, it can one of two things happen that can mess this up. Number one, she gets hurt. Can't do nothing about that. Unless one of them idiot girls tries to throw something, throw an elbow or trip her up or something like that, and it's a dirty play, and she twists her ankle, tears a knee or something goofy like that. They got to be careful because I believe some of them girls will do that. That's one, injury. Number two, you already know she can play. You can't treat her like a rookie. Rookie, you got to take your time, and we're not going to let you get in and get off right off the bat. You got to pay your dues. You got to play the game. She is the breadwinner. So you got to make sure she can feed everybody. And the only way she can feed everybody is if she's on the court, period. I'm not paying money for season tickets or a ticket, and she going to be on the bench. You already know she's the draw, because when Iowa was still in this regular season, I forget what game they were at, but they showed the campus bookstore or whatever. 4:00 in the morning, students were lining up to get tickets, to get student tickets to go to the game that Caitlin Clark was playing in. So you know she has the draw, and she's going to have that appeal that the WNBA needs. Kelsey Plum's got it a little bit because she's been, like I said, I've seen her on the news. I've seen her in social media. I saw her with Kevin Hart, the girl that was in the NBA thing, the NBA three-point contest with Steph Curry. They're getting eyes with certain people. Diana Taurasi, she the old school. She only going to play for 1-2 more years, and she out. So her time is over with. I want to see the new guard. I want to see the new girls. And the WNBA has got to recognize that. They can't squander this opportunity. So, you know. All right. That's enough about Caitlin. We'll have more on that when the draft come around. Vaughn, you didn't know about American football? Where are you from? Got to be a European place. Or you just didn't follow football growing up? Bermuda, okay. I got you. And moving on to the birds, I see everybody talking about these visits. Top 30 visits, all that kind of stuff. Oh, 600 miles off South Carolina. Gotcha. Off the coast. All of these visits, that's just subterfuge, man. That's just smoke and mirrors. It's a good marketing tool, all that kind of stuff. Coaches and the owners get a chance to meet these players face to face, get a better understanding of personalities, things of that nature. Let them look at they'll throw some plays their way, get some coach speak, all that kind of stuff, man. But it's basically, yeah, Jay. Most of the time it's a smoke screen because they already know what they're going to do. Unless something stupid happens, like what's his name? What's Josh Sweat's little brother's name? He just got busted for drunk driving. It never fails, man. Never fails. Sometime within a month of the draft, we are 2 weeks away from the draft now, and Sweat gets busted for drunk driving. Now TMZ is following him out of jail. He got a post bond. Now he got a court date, all of that other kind of dumb shit. And these young kids just don't get it, man. When you got access to that, you tell your agent to lend you a credit card, and everywhere you go, you in an Uber, or you get one of your boys that you want to roll with you or that you grew up with, and you get somebody in your crew or your posse or one of your homies, and you designate that dude. So you come with me everywhere I go. You keep a phone on you just in case you need to record if something pop off, and you drive everywhere. So when we go out, you can't drink. and you pay them. You pay them for it. This is your job. You want to bring one of your homies up? This is your job. If you want to take it a step further, make them get licensed, gun control, a little bit of martial arts so you can handle yourself, and you will be that dude. I'm surprised more people don't do that. Every time I go out, you coming with me. Where I go, you go, but you don't drink. You want to flirt with the girls and all of that? No problem. You want to bring some people back to the crib? No problem. But when we go out, you driving and you don't drink. These dudes are paying too much money out of pocket for this nonsense. You could be saving that money and save your career. I am so glad that we didn't have those problems. We didn't have them issues. We might go to the strip club after a game or something like that. And I'm so glad I wasn't even into that type of, I would go to the clubs every now and then, but some of them dudes, man, you kicking out your weekly salary at them girly clubs. And it's like, no, thank you. Don't cost his draft stock goes down, and you that extra drink may have cost him $2-3 million. I don't understand that. And now you got rookie symposiums and all of that kind of stuff. They give you every opportunity to educate you on what you should and shouldn't do. But again, at this point, it's all Captain Obvious right now. These dudes know what they should and shouldn't be doing. You know, if you had a couple drinks and you don't feel buzz, you can still blow and flag it, and they got you. They got you. So you gotta be careful. And people get too lax, and they get lazy, and ain't nobody gonna pull me over. And they don't understand that people watch them. I've been in the clubs before where I overhear conversation like, hey, they go such and such that play for the Eagles. Tell you what, I'm gonna bump him, make him spill his drink on me. We get in a fight, and maybe we can both get paid. It's people that are scandalous like that. So you got to keep your head on a swivel. And rest assured, now TMZ and all of them people, how you think they found out about these stories so quick? They got people posted in these clubs. They know which clubs and which strip clubs that all the players go to. And there's somebody posted, or they'll have a relationship with one of the bouncers or something like that in the club. Hey, if anything pops off, you call me first, and I'll make sure I slip you $500 because this story's about to go viral. Guarantee you that happens. That's how them people be getting all the stories. They got the bouncers and the bartenders and all them people that actually work at these clubs on payroll. So if they get the scoop first, you get a little, they'll slide you something. Yeah, man. It ain't no joke, bro. It ain't no joke. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows where you go. Everybody knows. I remember when I was playing, I used to live on I had an apartment right down on Delaware Avenue because I didn't want to. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cincinnati. I wasn't familiar with Philadelphia yet. So I made sure that my goal was to get an apartment. If I made a team, find some place in the city close to the stadium. And I found an apartment right on Delaware Avenue. And that's where I was living. So I could be at the stadium in like less than 10 minutes. So it was everybody knows where you go. Everybody knows the clubs that you frequent. I hooked up with Vaughn Hebron, and we went to when Dave and Buster's was down on Delaware Ave. And somebody must have saw us get out of the car because they broke his back window and they stole my camera, stole my camcorder. That was the only thing that was stolen. And it was like, ugh. So the people watch you. And I don't understand how these dudes these days, when you get all this stuff available to you, you got Uber and Ride and all this kind of stuff, and they still want to flex and jump in the car. You saw what just happened with Rashee Rice. He probably going to jail. It ain't worth it. But we still live in this era because of social media and stuff like that. Everybody want to flex. You saw what happened to Ja Morant last year. Everybody trying to flex, still taking pictures with guns and doing all that dumb shit. Some people just don't learn. And you make enough money that you can prevent that, but they don't want to be that smart. So it is what it is. So Cody, I think you were the one that was asking about these Micah Parsons rumors. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones seems to have just lost his common sense. I don't know what's going on with it. They didn't do anything in free agency. They're not going to renew Dax or redo Dak's contract. And now you got these stories, because I saw the clip. I don't know. Cody, do you know if the guy was he a radio guy or was he a podcast guy? Was he a content creator? Because I'm not sure which one he was. But he came out and said that he's heard from 4 different people that they're getting sick of Micah Parsons. And I'm like, how can you get sick of somebody? Because he's only one of the best in the league. What you sick of? It ain't his play on the field. And you're not going to tell me that what he says on his podcast is getting on your nerves so bad that you just want to use that to trump whatever he's doing on the field. Well, that's just stupid. But it looks like the talk is out there, and where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. So, waiting for Dion and Shador. Exactly. He said he's heard it from many people. Didn't he say like 4 people? So, let me be honest with you, man. If it ain't Ike Reese or Rob Ellis, I don't even listen to WIP anymore. I can't say that because I'm saying an oxymoron. I do not listen to WIP a lot. Sometimes I listen to Big Hugh in the morning. I always try to listen to Ike when I can. And I listen to Rob Ellis. Other than that, like when I see Angelo Cataldi on Big Seal show and all that kind of stuff, man, I ain't beefing them loudmouths no more. Because the one thing I've learned in doing all of this, the social media landscape has evened the playing field so much. I can get the same information that Cataldi can get, that Cilio can get, or any of these other guys can get. If I know how to talk to the right people, I can get the same vetted information even faster than they do. And at the end of the day, most of the time they just guessing anyways. They call a bunch of people, and the only thing they're doing is everybody's talking about what their opinion is. Nobody's getting facts. Nobody's getting facts. So I don't follow the polls and all that kind of stuff because everybody goes to the nth degree. JT, my dude JT, talking about the Phillies, man. And when the Phillies lost that game the other day, it's like, damn, we ain't even at 10 games in the season yet, and y'all bitching. Like, wait till we get to like at least 20-something games. My rule is like, with a long season like baseball, when you got 162 games, don't talk to me until we at least get to 20, 25. I don't want to hear nothing until we at least get to 25 games. Maybe the weather will warm up a little bit. Teams loose, and everybody lost their mind last year. And it's like, hold tight, pump your brakes, because you know how it go. And what did they do? They went on a tear at the end of the year and made it all the way to the World Series. So yeah, everybody, everybody just screaming and Cataldi and all of them. They all screaming like they right, and they don't know. They guess. They guess. And I've never been one, because I don't believe that. Just because you never played the game doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about. I've never bought into that. But, however, there are some people that say some things, and it's like, if you really understood the sport, or if you were ever on a team, or if you ever played and was in the locker room, that wouldn't be true. The stuff you saying doesn't make sense. So, oh, you know what? I ain't even up. UConn, yeah, 47-34. Dude, this is the first time I looked at this score. This has been staring at me. I ain't even paying attention to it. Yeah, man. Vaughn, the Phillies last year, that's all they talked about, how good the Braves were. And we went down there and whooped ass last year. So I don't get so caught up. It's way too early. They do the same thing in football. They do the same thing in basketball. They do the same thing in hockey. Although hockey, I think Torts, his head is in the right direction, but it's going to take a little time to get there. But yeah, man, they give him time. Let him warm up, and then we'll see what happens at the end of July when it really starts to matter. So we mad about the bullpen today, but the other day, Bryce Harper hits 3 home runs, including the grand slam. What do you want? You know what I mean? It's going to be ups and downs. That's the way it goes. We ain't going to win all the damn games. So, yeah, just pump your brakes. It'll be fine. Cody K, yes. I was hoping that they would get this done before the draft. If we don't, then I think they might try to do like they did Josh Sweat, renegotiate, give him a little bit more money, or they'll try to figure out a way to stretch it out. But I think they want to do that before, so when they go into the draft, they know the type of money that they got left and deal with it. And the one thing you got to remember is the salary cap goes up again next year. So they're going to have even more money to play with. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Vaughn, when the air gets hot, the balls travel. DaVonta Smith ain't got nothing to worry about. Because at the end of the day, at worst, he going to get as much as A.J. Brown. At worst. But he's playing it smart. His representation is playing it smart. Because everybody is waiting to see what's going to happen with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to set the bar. So DaVonta Smith ain't in a hurry. But they'll get it done. Howie Roseman is in no rush. And one of the things is, me personally, I trust Howie completely. Howie is the Wizard of Philadelphia. This is what he does. So his batting average has been quite high since 2016. Let him do what he does. Let him cook. He's made the transition, bringing in the right players. He changed his train of thought, bringing in all the Alabama and the Georgia players, and it's made a difference. And we got a Super Bowl out of it and another trip to the Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for, a couple of plays here or there, a bad fumble and a bad special teams play, we should have 2 Super Bowl wins in like 5 years. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't do nothing but rhyme. So yeah, I'm with you, Cody. He has definitely earned it. And that's why with Howie, I ain't got nothing to worry about. And Dave, I'm with you, but I understand. I did not want the Reddick trade, but I understand the business of it, and it made sense. And it makes even more sense the longer the Jets don't give him a new contract, the better it looks for us. And we're not going to get a second round pick out of that because he's got to get 10 sacks and play 67% of the snaps. And I don't think he's going to play 67%. They got a good rotation, and I don't think he's going to play that many snaps. So, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with his contract, because when all this is said and done, we might be looking at Howie like, damn, like you knew, good job. We might be saying that about this. So, the comp pick I thought was if he met the prerequisites, our 3 would turn into a 7. I didn't think we would get another pick. Nah, they'll take him out of the game plan before they do that. So I don't see that happening either. So and Howie knows that. He knows that. Because if you think about it, he's got to get 10 sacks and he's got to play 67.5% of the defensive snaps. So here's what happens. If he gets 10 sacks and plays enough to hit those prerequisites, our 3rd round pick turns into a 2. We win. If he doesn't, well, then maybe he's on the wrong side of 30 and he's not as good as he was when he was here. We win. The only kind of but is if he does get the 67% and 10 sacks, then we're looking at like, well, shit, he could have did that here. But depending on what his stats are, here's the question. With whatever he is going to do this year, would that have been worth 22 to $25 million a year? That's the question. Because that's the problem. His asking price was way too high. Haason Reddick was a victim of bad timing. Just like CJ Gardner-Johnson, he had another great year, and he went for his bag, rightfully so. But the market wasn't willing to pay him what he thought he wanted, especially at 30 years old, about to be 31. So he was just a victim of bad timing. 2nd round pick, we won't know if they're any good for 3 years. Correct. Every pick is a crapshoot. Ask Jalen Reagor. Ask DaVonta Smith. Ask Brock Purdy. Every draft pick is a gamble, man. So the Eagles are fine. Our offense is deadly. And our defense, and this is just me. Our defense right now, with the loss of Haason Reddick, with the retirement of Fletcher Cox, our defense as it exists today is better than what we had last year. Me and Barrett Brooks talked about that the other day. Go check out my episode with Barrett. We are better now than we were last year. And by the way, I ain't even mentioned this, man. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button and that notification bell, man. What you waiting on? But yeah, man, our defense is straight. It's better than what we had last year. I think Devin White is going to be better than advertised. And he is going, I'm hoping, he is going to rub off on the Kobe Dean. Because Devin White is starting. Devin White is going to have a green dot, not Nakobe Dean. Can't do it. Can't do it. They can talk that competition stuff all they want to. Devin White is somebody that's been to a Super Bowl and been an All-Pro and some. So to me, there's no contest. No contest. So, Vaughn, some of them fall through, but at the end of the day, you tell me a GM and name the team where the deals don't. You tell me a GM that's batting 1,000. They don't exist. You're going to have your ups and downs. We're going to get a few hits and hit a couple out of the park. And then the rest is going to be strikeouts. So you're just going to be, somebody that hits singles the whole time. So we're good. We're good. Yeah, we had Bradbury playing out of position, but Bradbury's got other issues, man. Bradbury is going to be the most expensive backup we have this year. And after what I saw today and reading the stuff about Cooper DeJean from Iowa, there's a possibility that one of the better cornerbacks are going to be available. So I don't know what they're going to do, man. Yeah, last year was a nightmare, bro. It was like Bradbury was running in oatmeal or something. I don't know what the hell was going on, but yeah, he was not good. So we're in good shape, man, and I'm really looking forward to this draft. Because it's going to be some things happening. I think I'm coming to the mindset that Howie might trade our pick. We might trade down, but stay in the first round and get a couple other picks out of that. And then I got a feeling that he's going to gather up a couple of picks and put together a package with James Bradbury to get rid of it. Do I have a favorite running back in this draft? Not really. I haven't even really been looking at running backs. We don't need one. We got all the backs. We got the Tyrion, whatever his name is. So we got big backs. Saquon, we got big backs. So I haven't even looked at the running backs, to be honest with you. I know the only kid that I've really looked at was the kid out of Louisville. He was a transfer to Louisville, and the kid's like 6 foot 221 and runs a 4.3. I can't even remember his name, but I know I watched tape on him. So and he's not a like burner. He's not shifty. He tries to run you over, but he's just a big kid with a good 40 time. But he's not going to avoid a tackle or any. He ain't going to shake you, spin around you, nothing. He's straight ahead. Give me downhill. So, yeah, we'll probably take another back late. But I think all of the late picks are going to be defensive backs and offensive linemen. I think we're going to, if we don't trade the first pick, there's a good chance he might take one of the offensive tackles to find the heir apparent to Lane Johnson, because I think Lane Johnson's going to be out of here either next year or the year after. So Lane Johnson watching Kelsey have too much fun. He was at WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of good tight ends, but I think our tight ends are solid, man. We still got Dallas Goedert, and I'm a fan of Albert O. And hopefully they'll make use of Albert O. So maybe we'll get a third. And we still got do we have Grant Stahl? Did we cut him? I'm not sure if we did. Grant Stahl and Calcaterra. So but I mean we can pick that up in the draft or free agency. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah, that dude Fontal Latu, is that his name? Yeah. That dude's good. So we got some good prospects in the draft, but I got a feeling Howie's going to trade down and get a couple more picks. So he might trade back a couple spots and get a couple picks. Oh, Stoll is gone. Okay. So, hey, we 2 weeks away, man. So we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. So, but yeah, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. We've been rolling about a minute 30. Good conversations, though, man. I like these intimate conversations. So, just to let you guys know, I will be Wednesday. I'll be doing live at lunch. And then, of course, the big show Thursday night at 7 p.m. was Pro Fan Talk. And I think for Friday, I got a confirmation that my buddy Ian Cummings is going to be joining me on Friday. Ian Cummings is a draft analyst. So he's got pretty good content. Check him out on Twitter. He's got some good stuff. But he will be joining me for a couple minutes on Friday. I'll be putting out some stuff in social media about that. Vaughn, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Shoot, David, we can get Brock Bowers, man. He ain't gonna be on the board. So, but yeah, man, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna watch the fourth quarter of this game. It's 56-40. UConn's got a sizable lead, so we'll see how this ends up. But I think I'm gonna go finish the chicken wings that I ain't finished yesterday. So, but do me a favor, y'all know how we do it: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube's. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Go to YouTube, search Pro Fan Talk, click on that subscribe button. We're gonna keep grinding and we're gonna keep growing. That's how we do it. Jason Sink, my guy, appreciate you, bro. Cody K as usual. Vaughn Russell, don't be a stranger, my guy. Appreciate you. David, always, man, coming through in the Facebooks, man. I appreciate all you guys. And you guys have a good night, man. Enjoy the rest of this game. And I will see you guys on Wednesday at lunchtime. Talk to you later. Go Birds.